Edge Technology screens, and we make Supreme and Blue technology. All right, so let me show you. I wanted to do this demonstration today. We're going to do a few other demonstrations also, and the weather looks kind of nice outside. We might be getting outside also too. So let me show you what other screen paints wish they can do. Now, as you can see, let me move my sloughs out of the way first. Put them in the next room. Scoot over real quick. That's one of the things you'll notice when it comes to our demonstrations, our screens do not sit in the dark. I don't have to worry about my image washing out or fading. So I got two night skies being displayed at the same time in a fully lit environment. And one of the beautiful things about our technology now, one of these screens is gray, one's black. And also too, on top of that, I'll show you, we've had that screen running all day. That is the blue sitting in the window displaying. I got to show it to a customer a few minutes ago. He was talking about ultra short throw projectors and whether or not it's going to look good on the screen or if they'll be compatible with our screen paint. But one of these is gray. So that's a black silver right there. That's our gray screen paint. And that's a 12. I told you that black silvers can mimic contrast levels. Even though it's a gray screen, it can mimic a contrast level black enough to basically, one of the problems, like I said, when I see light gray screens or gray screens, is that when it comes to those contrast levels, they fade miserably. They do not do well when it comes to contrast. Black silvers, on the other hand, have the ability to be able to read contrast. That's why I got it side by side next to the 12, and then right there is a black silver. Now, if I were to take that off and lay it against the black screen, you would see that the black screen is going to perform a better, higher contrast level. So I'll show you that. So you can see if the screen is gray. Now, if I put that next to a 12 will show you that a 12 is the only one that has the capability to produce a 100% contrast level, as you can see. That's one of the beautiful things about our technology. And other gray screens on the market do not have the capability to do this. So which means it's just basically what it is. It's just paint, house paint. Where you can see when it comes to our technology, it's actually completely different. Now, as you can see right here, you can see where the 12 is actually performing a much better contrast level. As I said, if you lay it against the 12 is always going to be more superior. But by itself, a black silver can produce an amazing contrast level, as you're watching me do here. Let's get our commercial out of the way there. Commercial in there. There we go. See that? It's interesting, isn't it? See, that's the difference between our product and everybody else's. No other people can do demonstrations like that. If they show gray, they show gray all the way around. They're doing this demonstration, they're going to show gray. You're going to be able to see it. They're not going to pull a contrast level. A Supreme, this black silvers can pull a contrast level. Now, as I showed you, the screen is gray. If I lay it against a 12, you can automatically see the black silver for what it is. It's a gray screen. If I lay it independently by itself, it produces a contrast level by itself. See how beautiful that is? So that's the one thing I tell you. If I'm showing you a screen that is a gray screen, I'm not going to show you a bunch of white levels all over it, because the screen's going to be to produce white levels, it's going to produce color, the whole 9 yards. The hardest thing for a screen to be able to produce is contrast, especially when it comes to a gray screen. Where it comes to a black screens have to be able to produce a contrast level. So I'm going to go in here and change my video real quick. I got a couple of videos lined up. Let's grab this one right here. See how the gray paint is just gray. Other gray screens are what they are. It's just gray house paint. When it comes to our technology, it's completely different. So here you got a gray screen. That's gray. It's producing a contrast level. Because it has code, it has the ability to be able to read. That's what makes our product different from everything out there on the market. And like I said, until they match all our demonstrations, they are what they are, house paint. So you're watching a gray screen produce a contrast level. That dark. That's what I said. We have the Platinum Eclipse, which there's no screen that can stand against that. That screen literally is so, it's one of the darkest gray screens we ever developed. Side by side, next to a black screen, they can be mistaken for black. And then you're talking about a black silver, which is a gray screen that can mimic black contrast levels. Or next to a 12. That's why I said that when you watch demonstrations, they should be doing demonstrations like this. This is what you should be seeing. To the contrast level pool. The background always remains black. Now, if they think a little post like that is going to stop me, you got to be joking, please. Oh, I'm just getting started. If you feel that this technology is pressuring you, oh my goodness, you have no idea what's coming out in 2021. That stuff might cause you to go a little insane. Matter of fact, it might blow your socks off. Your shoes will be on, but your socks won't be there. Come on. I got big companies that pressure me. Nothing's going to stop me from doing what I got to do. I'm going to keep on doing it. They're making more and more advanced technology, and you're just going to have to deal with it. Because here I got a gray screen, same color as your technology, and I'm pulling a contrast level on my screen. And it's gray. Yeah, I better get to the drawing board and start beefing up your technology. You're really going to need it. Let me show you an OLED demonstration of a gray screen. Let's go with the Sony. Now let's go to Starfield. Let's do the Starfield. I wish we could ship to India. Right there. It is available. It's available all over the world, but you have to understand. PayPal put in restrictions. We can't ship overseas. So that's what I'm doing tests today. I'm actually doing tests to see. I have a few friends in different countries that have been doing light orders to us. And we're testing to see which countries we can ship to, because I want to get blue overseas. really bad. So, you know, we're working on it. We're working on it. And I'll call PayPal Monday morning to see what we could do. You know, it's something. You know what I mean? There's a Starfield demonstration on a gray screen. But we'll get it done. We'll get there. Trust me. We'll get there. I mean, it's already, they got to give us some kind of give, you know what I mean? They already got the vaccine over in the UK, and the UK already is getting the vaccine. It's only a matter of time before America gets it and everybody else gets it. So, I mean, they got to come on. They got to let ease up some of these restrictions so, you know, we can conduct some business here, you know? Because I have business contracts in the UK, and I haven't been able to utilize any of them. We had 2 of them we just signed before COVID hit. So, you know, everybody's on hold on for a lot of things, but we'll get there. Trust me, we'll get there. All right, so I'm showing off the Black Starfield demonstration right there on our gray screens. So the reason why I like the black silver is fantastic. Black silver is because they're gray, right? They work well with Valva projectors. Now, the black screens on the other side, they don't work well with the Valva projectors because the screens are a bit dark. But when it comes to the black silver, these things are fantastic. If you got a projector that has low lumens, this is where you want to go with the black silver. And as I told you before, because it's a gray screen, you're not going to lose contrast, you're not going to lose color, you're going to be used in a fully lit environment, and they're ultra short compatible. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. See if we can get something else for you guys. Okay. Here we go. That's why I like the black silver. People have like lower end projectors. Like if you got one of them Sunbeam, LG Sunbeams, they're like something like 900 or 1,000 lumens. Some of the Bravo projectors have like 900 lumens. You know what I mean? And the one thing you don't want to lose, you don't want to lose that contrast level. So black silvers kind of, they give you that. They give you that back. Where you're going to have those high white levels that you want out of a gray screen, but you get them deep dark contrast levels. All right, we do this one right here. I'm doing all OLED demonstrations, real dark demonstrations for this. See, you couldn't be to tell the difference when side by side. If I did this next to a black screen, you wouldn't be to tell them apart. But if you lay this screen against a black screen, then you would see it. You would see that the screen is gray. So this paint right here is $89. It is $89 when I paint a screen size of 120 inches. So this is the gray screen paint we developed. So we have several different forms of paints. We have a deep black, which is Platinum Eclipse. We have the gold screen, which is 9. And then we have black silvers, which are gray. Black silvers, like I said, recontrast. And that's color code technology that we embed into the screens. And then over there we have the blue, which is actually pulling up an image, and that sunlight over there hitting the windows with no problem. Blues are 15. So it takes on a lot more punishment. Sorry about that. I shook that a little bit too much. There's a Sony Black contrast demonstration. Another older demonstration. As you can see, we're doing this in a fully lit room environment. It's my black screen with the black levels on the gray screen next to the black screen. This is what I'm talking about when people are calling themselves doing demonstrations against their product. This is how it's supposed to be done. They're mad at us because we pushed the envelope. We actually strive for better. So what is the difference between our gray screens and any other gray screens? Our gray screens can see contrast. Their screens can't. But if you notice in the demonstration, like I said, with it being a gray screen, I'm not showing you any colors. I'm showing you all contrast only. This is what you're supposed to display. When you display a gray screen, you're supposed to show up contrast levels only, because it's automatically going to pull high bright colors. It's a gray screen. What you have to see is the contrast levels. Like with black screens, You got to show white levels. Blue, I don't know what you would well, blue basically displays color. Because it's a blue screen and it shouldn't be displaying those kind of colors. Everything should be coming up blue on that screen. Put you up closer so you can see a little better. With the reds. Indeed, the reds get. So you don't have to have a 10,000 or 20,000 to 1 contrast to use on these black screens. I mean, sorry, the gray screen. My projector behind me is only 4,000 to 1. That's it. That's because the code that's in its gray screen can read a black level. Now, is the screen gray? That's the thing about the hard thing about people looking at it. And they say, well, that cannot be a gray screen. Yes, it's a gray screen. It just has a code in that gray that allows that screen to read a contrast level, but they are gray. Now, the platinums are darker than this. Platinum's like they're near black. They're dark gray. That right there? Yep. If you put it against a 12, see how gray that screen is? Now, if you put it against a 12 right here, 12s produce the highest contrast level. As you can see, now look at it next to a 12. Doesn't pull contrast because it's sitting next to a 12. A 12 is a more superior, darker screen. But standing alone by itself, it pulls an insane contrast level that looks like it could be a black screen, but it's not. It's a gray screen. It just has a code in it that allows it to be able to read a contrast level. That's all. That's my phone. So I'll pull the video up. There you go. See? It's a gray screen. It just has a code in it allowed to read it. Just like the black screens have codes allowed them to pull up higher white levels. If you put one next to each other, you couldn't tell one from each other when the contrast levels kick. If you put them on top of each other, you would see it. beautiful flowers. Now watch the 12. Twelves, on the other hand, can do something interesting. They can read a white level. Which means I can take a gray screen and I can throw it in front of a 12. The gray screen is going to produce a higher white level. The 12s can blend into them, because 12s produce very high white levels. So you have a 12 that's coded to pour a higher white level to be able to blend into a gray screen, and you have a gray screen that's coded to produce a higher contrast level to pour a black level. That's what makes the technology different from everybody else's. They don't do demonstrations like this. I'm gonna grab my phone right here. Is this the right one? That's the right one. There you go. That's why when I watch those demonstrations, when people try to slander my tech and try to say, well, hey, you know, screens come up dark. Do you realize that I do demonstrations throwing gray screens in front of black screens all the time? Look at this. In the kitchen, I'm in there watching Team Titan right there. Window light is hitting my screen right there, and I'm in there watching Team Titan. My kitchen projection screen. There's my blue screen right over here. Sitting in the bay of windows. Now it's interesting, like I said, when we do these demonstrations, I look at the environments, they're always dark. Shades are always pulled down, afraid for any kind of ambient light to come in because the screen might wash out. And meanwhile, I'm in here with my cheap, used eBay projectors, doing demonstrations like throwing light gray screens in front of black screens and taking gray screens and having them pull contrast levels. And they can't figure it out. That's what drives them crazy. And that's why they resort to doing this particular tactics, because they can't figure it out. How's he doing that? It's called hard work. A lot of hard work and a lot of faith in God. That's what it's called. Do things by the book and do them right. Now you can see beautiful colors being displayed off the black technology and contrast being displayed off the gray technology. All being done in a fully lit environment. So if this bothers you, then get used to it. Learn to get used to it, because I have so much more to give to my customers, and I'm not going to cheat them. I'm going to give them the best product that they can possibly get. Whether the naysayers hate it or not, they're just going to have to get used to it. Well, I thank you all for taking the time to come in and watch. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'm going to work on that overseas thing, trust me. So I'm going to run a couple of orders. I have a few friends overseas. I'm going to see if they run through, see what the shopping cart will accept. I mean, we got to have something by now. I mean, we've been kind of locked up for like the last couple months. At least a couple months. So let me see what we can get done so we can start getting some orders overseas for people. All right? All right. Thank you all for your time. I have to go, and God bless.